What is going on, guys? Victor here. I got a really cool catch and cook for you guys today. Now, in this angle cooler here, we got a ton of species, but one of the things that we caught with our buddy Captain Kody are these absolute giant stud yellowtail snapper. Now, we went out on a charter with our friend Captain Kody. I will link all of his stuff in the description box below. We had an incredible time out on the water with him, so we're gonna go ahead and fillet these guys up, but I hope you enjoyed today's video. Let's get it started. On with the first mutton. Hopefully. That's why you didn't film on this? You just ate it, sat there. So here's what we got going on. We're anchored up in 200 feet, got really big leads on, and those pilchards that Kody netted earlier, we got them hooked through the jaw, and they're just sitting down there, and muttons will swim by this ledge. Good mutton.
There we go.
Good mutton.
Interesting. To start.
Hold it up. Here we go, Captain
Key West mutton. Here for 5 minutes.
Telling you guys, this guy's good. We got really heavy weights because we're fishing deep water, a lot of current. Ready, Carl?
I'm ready.
You've never thought of mutton before, right?
No, not mutton.
Wait till he loads the rod and then just reel in the holder. Until he's hooked. Yep. Pick it up.
What's that?
He's on there. Pick it up. Just fight him regular.
Carl had one on, didn't you know?
I have one on.
They're just sitting on it. It's a problem. Don't matter to me. Seems like a good fish.
Oh!
That's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Well, pretty much every single drop has been, what, no more than a minute of the bait being down there?
That's the way we like it. That's why we come down this way.
So Carl's got one on, Brooke just sent a bait down, and all we're doing is looking for that rod tip to kind of just do that slight little bounce, because you got 200 feet of line, if not more, between you and the fish. Oh, that one doubled over.
There we go.
Yes, that one's on.
He's there?
No, he's there.
Oh yeah,
he's there.
Oh yeah.
But the baits are only down there for like a minute before they get picked up.
Oh, is that a big grouper? Probably is.
Big black, isn't it?
Either that or a gag. It's a red. It's a black.
Oh, nice.
Nice black.
Nice black. Too bad it's not seasoned. What you got? Oh, babe. You know what?
Can we measure this,
That might be 18.
It's a nice fish.
Oh, look
Nice
at that
fish.
thing.
Beautiful fish.
Wow.
He's not long.
20-pound black.
Too bad we can't keep him. That would eat good. Mustache.
Definitely get a picture.
Take a look at this.
He's not legal, baby?
No.
Ready.
I'm gonna grab a picture of this guy and we'll send him on his way.
What you got there, Carl?
We got ourselves about a 20-pound black grouper from about 200 feet deep. We're getting ready to release him.
Beautiful fish, man.
It's a beautiful fish.
You wanna see him? I'm gonna revive it for a second.
Yeah, you want me to do that? You got it.
So Kody's reviving him right now. Just letting water flow past his gills.
Oh, come on, don't do that to me.
Come on.
Yeah, there. They just need a little push down. See you in May, buddy. Brooke, I want a legal one, and I want a big one.
The key is to have a good bait.
Right there, right there.
Are you on already?
Yeah, but I don't know what's going on.
Oh yeah, tap tap. Got a good one on. We were about to leave. Kody was getting the ball for the anchor, and I got a mutton on. I hope, for now. As long as the rod keeps doing that and doesn't do a full bend and just keep going, we don't have a shark. That's so crazy. We haven't been able to land a big mutton. There's a shark behind the boat, but Kody at least got the head back. See what it is. You think it's the same one?
Yeah, I've already seen like 3 times.
This one's really light. You see them? Got a lot of orange on them.
The deep ones are really pretty.
Yeah,
They're really
beautiful. They're not like that green faint.
No, that's the spawner on the reef. Ooh, nice.
Oh
Firefish?
my goodness. That's a stud. This is actually the whitest meat that's going to be in the cooler right here.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah.
So big
Yeah,
one.
he's done. Look at his eyes exploded. So you guys see how his eyeballs are exploded and his belly's full and his intestines are hanging out? That is because they go through a process called barotrauma. I've done a video on it in the past where their air bladders cannot compensate for the pressure change as they're going up. So the gases on their insides will expand and pretty much just push their eyeballs out, push their intestines out, which is not good for fish when you want to put them back in, but we're gonna harvest this guy. They're very good to eat. On the first drop.
How's that bonita? Careful with that.
Look at that thing. Woo! Damn, Kody, you weren't kidding. Guys, look at this thing. Mogan yellowtail.
Because the sharks love those yellowtails.
Mogan. First drift back.
Got a shark.
Brooke, you want to catch one now?
Yeah.
Brooke was taking a break, but not anymore.
Actually, he
Look
ran
at
into
that
the
thing.
bottom. You gotta watch out because they'll run you in the bottom. Like his fish just took him straight to the rocks. Pop it
On a
off.
little baby jig head.
That's a nice one.
You gotta get him in fast. You see him right there? Another
There
good
we
one.
go.
Heck yeah.
Beautiful.
Look at these things. They're all flags. All right, guys. So this is like, I don't even know. This is at least the 12th species we've gotten on today. And this is a very popular fish in the Florida Keys. You got a yellowtail, as you guys see by the yellowtail. And they are very pretty. Look at that.
Nice.
Oh!
You scumbag. You ain't getting this thing.
Get right up to the boat.
Fourth big yellowtail. And that shark came right up to the boat. We're having a really tough time trying to get him away from the sharks. That shark literally came right up to the boat. I don't know if Brick got that, but you gotta really just jack him up. Short, fast pumps. Don't let their head get in the water, and just pull them up like that. And all we're fishing is these little jig heads just like that. That's all you need. Let me show you guys what we're doing. Little chunk of bait like that. That's the fresh bonita we caught earlier. You get your jig head, you put it in. Now we're gonna cast it out. Kody was nice enough to get this 25-pound chum block, even though he asked me to get the chum last night and I completely forgot. And you toss your bait back out in the chum slick. Open bail is key for yellowtails. They don't like to feel that tension. So you constantly feed line out just like that. And then when you feel that tug, let them go for a little bit, count to 2, close the bail, and you're on.
And you did it on purpose.
Rookie on!
Here, I'll distract the shark.
What is this hook doing in my
Oh
face?
no, the shark's right there!
Don't worry about the hook. Just do you.
You got him. You got him, babe.
Oh, look at the shark!
Oh, get him, get him!
Oh, he got it.
What? No, I think it just pulled.
Well, he got it, I think. Look at all the scales.
Brook and I got hooked up by Conley big time for this trip. We got the jigging rods we caught the AJs on, and then we got these 6 spinners. Check that out.
Got muttons on the...
Muttons, blackfins, and then now we're catching slob yellowtails on these carbon fiber rods.
That one that jumped over here was a big zero.
There we go.
Oh, he's got a stud on. Oh, he's doing it dirty. You ain't hitting that one. That was a big one.
Shark!
Nice.
Diet of big yellowtail.
I just keep hooking the little ones.
There's my shark. These sharks at this point, I'm pretty sure just know. If they wait long enough, they're gonna get a free meal.
These sharks are educated.
Yeah, by you. You're the one who educates them 300 days out of the year. This is cool. Oh. Oh, instant.
Carl and Kody.
I think Cody's got a zero on.
Zero. Poor man's wahoo. Carl's got a mumbo.
Remora? Carl's the Remora man.
Oh
Oh, that's
man.
a jumbo.
That's a jumbo.
Is that a snake king or a zero?
Nice
Love the hook.
Good zero. Fat.
Now I broke it off.
Fat zero.
Flip him. Oh, Brooks hooked up.
Get him, babe.
Not a remora and it's not a yellowtail.
But it is a shark.
It's not a shark, it's a bonita.
Oh, it is?
Or a blue runner.
Tried to flip him and he came right off.
No.
It's a big
Should have waited for the... Oh, there's your shark. Alright guys, so we're back at the dock and we got this beautiful yellowtail snapper in the angle cooler, and I'm going to show you guys a really neat way to prepare these fish. So one really cool thing about snapper, and in particular yellowtails, is the skin of these fish is very tasty, and a lot of people neglect it. So I'm gonna show you guys a way to prepare them with the skin on, which is my favorite way to eat snapper. You get yourselves a knife, well, a dull knife like a butter knife, a fork, a spoon, whatever it is. Go ahead and grab your yellowtail with one hand and just take all these scales off like this. Just run whatever utensil you're using. They make actual scalers. So use whatever utensil you got and just run from the tail to the head, and you're gonna see the scales fly off. Okay, now we're gonna do the exact same thing on the other side. It's really important to do this before you fillet your fish, because trying to scale a fish that's already been filleted is not very easy, and it's not very practical either. This is what your fish is gonna look like after it's scaled. You gotta have a hose it off. Your workstation clean. I'm gonna hold the fish over here. So I got my 6-inch Dexter boning knife. I like a stiffer blade for filleting fish, and I like a smaller knife for filleting smaller fish. So we're gonna do with this yellowtail, now that all the scales are knocked off, I'm gonna start over here by the head. Just make one incision, go down to the belly right there. I'm gonna flip them around, and then I like to line my fish up with the fillet table like so. And I'm just gonna go alongside the backbone, just like this, all the way down to the tail, and just run right down the length of the fish. And then when you get over here by the rib cage, you want to go over the rib cage and not through it. You're going to see the rib cage bones right there. You want to go over it, not through it. And always angle your knife down when you're on the other side, that way you don't miss meat. And then you can go like this, just knock off the tail, and there you go. You got yourselves a beautiful yellowtail fillet with the skin on. Now we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Make that first cut from the head down to the belly. And then I'm gonna take just the tip of my knife and run it down the length of the backbone, going all the way down to the tail. And then now I'll go from the tail up back towards the head. Over this rib cage bone again. There you go. So now if you didn't want to eat fish with the skin on, if it freaks you out, all you got to do is don't scale it from the very beginning, and you would simply just skin it with your fillet knife, just going between the skin and the fillet. But I like to eat it with the skin on, so I will see you guys back in the kitchen, and we're gonna whip these guys up. All right, welcome back to the kitchen. Now before we move on, I'm gonna plug the Instagram because it is a really good way for me to interact with you guys, and I love when you tag me in your pics, in your videos, in your recipes, and that actually happens quite often. So if you guys want to interact with me on a more personal level, go ahead, follow me on Instagram. I'm very active on there, constantly answering the DMs and comments. And let's get started on this recipe. So you guys saw some tomatoes and scallions being chopped, which are gonna be used a little bit later, but to briefly touch on the yellowtail. So yellowtail is generally not my first fish of choice to eat because we have eaten so many species now, but I was actually really surprised with this recipe. And I'm not trying to bash on yellowtail in any way, it's still amazing, but since we've come so far on this channel, I've eaten so many species, it is on the mushier side as far as texture is concerned, and these were actually vacuum sealed and they were delicious, which you guys will see later. But we're gonna keep this recipe real simple. I'm doing a baked Parmesan yellowtail, seasoning them with some black pepper, Old Bay, which is a great spice if you've never heard of it, and then coating them with Parmesan cheese. And it might seem like I'm putting a lot of Parmesan cheese on, but it actually melts and half of the cheese kind of comes off of the fish anyway. So we got some garlic going in a pan. Our starch of choice, we're gonna be making some gnocchi. And this is what this tomato and garlic mixture is gonna be a part of. So I'm gonna make kind of like a creamy milk sauce to go along with our gnocchi. So after our tomatoes have sauteed a little bit, release those beautiful juices, we're gonna go ahead and add some whole milk. And I did add a little bit of heavy cream to this as well, but to keep the dish and sauce a little bit lighter, cut those calories down, and we just added a lot more whole milk than we would have cream. Season it with some salt and black pepper liberally. And then this is where I kind of wish I went and did a grated Parmesan cheese rather than the sprinkled Parmesan cheese because you guys can kind of see that cheese curdling and it just doesn't look as aesthetic as I think a powdered Parmesan cheese would have. Now, butter is, everybody loves butter, and that's gonna be pretty much the sauce for our shrimp, is just 1 stick of butter with some garlic. And then look at these beautiful extra large shrimp. Picked them up at Publix. They were buy one get one free, and that's what our scallions are going to be used for as well for our shrimp mixture. And then a bunch of Old Bay. Old Bay goes so well with shrimp, crab, all sorts of shellfish, and this was a very simple way to make our shrimp, which are going to go over the top of our yellowtail. How good does that look? Now you might be thinking that looks like a lot of cheese, but honestly, it didn't overpower the fish at all, especially because these were thicker yellowtail fillets, and that's what we got going on. We got some nice and crispy Parmesan on top of our yellowtails, and then look at that, shrimp just flowing on top of our fish. We got our gnocchi on the side. Now let's see what people think.
Any first impressions?
Oh wow. No, this yellowtail, this yellowtail is really good. And the way Victor did this shrimp, I didn't ask him any questions, so I don't even know what he did. But this sauce that he's got on this shrimp, and he puts it on top of the yellowtail, wow, really makes the yellowtail nice. It's delicious, Victor.
I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I know these Keys videos have been a little bit disorganized, but I'm working on getting better at that. And if you guys are interested in a charter, please check out my buddy Captain Kody. He's a captain that's going to put in the work. You guys are going to catch a ton of fish and have the trip of a lifetime. They got an incredible fishery down there, and I mean, he's just a really knowledgeable guy, and he's hungry to put you guys on fish. So seriously, check him out. If you're ever planning a trip to the Keys, he's the guy to book. So once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in that next video.